My name's Alex, I'm 19, I've got 2 children. I've got Amelia who's 2 and Kai who's 2 weeks.
I'm Becky, I'm 18 years old. My son is now 2. I was 15 when I fell pregnant with him.
Hi, my name's Angela, I'm 19. I have 2 children, Aidan and Paige. Aidan's 3, Paige is 2.
Hi, my name's Holly. I have a son of just over a year and a half old called Caden.
My 16th birthday, my partner took me away to Spain for a 2-week holiday and he paid for everything. While I was out there, I drank some of the water, and when I came back I had a kidney infection, and it was around this time that I felt pregnant because the pill doesn't work if you've got diarrhoea or sickness or if you're taking antibiotics. I didn't really think, to be honest, because you just don't. You think, I'm taking the pill, it will be okay, I'm covered. I wasn't planning on falling pregnant at all.
So I didn't really want to have one at this age, but I thought if it was going to happen, it was going to happen. And it did. Fell pregnant at 15. And from the minute I found out, really, things started going wrong.
It was a really hard decision, extremely hard. My parents found out about a week after I knew, because I was acting really strange and they started to pick up on it. They just asked me, I just told them. My mum immediately assumed I'd have an abortion. My stepdad was quite comforting. He actually talked to me and listened to what I had to say and how I felt. He convinced my mum that abortion wasn't the way I wanted to go. Well, I wasn't sure of it at the time, but I just wanted my mum to realise that I might not have an abortion. I just wanted to realise that it could be a possibility where I wanted to keep this baby.
I was still shocked, even though I thought I was anyway, but couldn't be happier. Seemed to straight away change me and give me a purpose, where before I never really felt like I had one. It took him about a week to come round. He wasn't like angry or nothing, or he was a bit distant, but it took him about a week to come round to the idea, and we decided that we was going to do it together and be like a family unit.
Dear Harley, I want to start this letter by telling you that I love you, and no matter what path you choose in life, I always will. Being a young single mum, I haven't always been able to give you everything I wanted materialistically, but I've almost always been here for you. I want to apologise for the first few weeks of your life. I found bonding with you really difficult and hate myself for it. I'm not making excuses for myself, but I was going through a tough time in my life at that point. However, with help and support, I got through and bonded with you really well.
Sometimes things don't always work out the way you planned. When I first got pregnant with Aidan, I was only 15, young, selfish, immature and surchild myself. But you changed all that and turned my life around. You gave me a purpose to get out of bed in the mornings, and every day I'm thankful that I had you. I want you to know how hard I tried to stay with your dad as a family, but he made things impossible. I'm sorry he hasn't been around as much as I wanted him to be there for you. To be honest, we've probably had a better life than he ever could have gave you. Now there's Ricky, who loves you as his own, and we're to be married as a proper family. That's if things go to plan, fingers crossed. Even though I don't regret any decisions I've made in having you two. So young, I want you to have the life I haven't had. I want to have more of a childhood, opportunities, the freedom, holidays, education, and making the most out of your young adulthood. It was you guys that made me want to be a better person, to better myself and go back to college, into education and train as a midwife. And I'm thankful for you both. You saved me. All my love, today and always, Mum.
Dear Caden, I'm writing this letter to tell you how much I love you and how you changed my life for the better. Before I had you, I was a young teenager who didn't have a lot of responsibility and was very unindependent. I would get drunk every weekend, bunk off school, cause mayhem at home. I lacked a lot of confidence. Your father gave me the confidence I was craving. He made me feel special. He stuck up for me. When me and your dad were together, I calmed down a lot. We were only together 3 months before you were conceived. It was the hardest decision I've ever had to make, but it was the best decision I've ever made. Your father was very supportive, but as time went on, I grew up very quickly and matured. Stopped drinking. Your father stayed the same. Our relationship changed very much. After I had you, I found it incredibly hard. I felt alone. Your father and I split up 3 months after you were born. At the time, I did look back and wish we had you later on, but I'm so happy with the person I've turned out to be, and it's all down to you. And don't think for a second that I didn't love your dad, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have you.
That you're putting in is coming straight through. We're from the same skin.
We have a couple of options. The first option would be to use the giant balloon, which is over here, or this giant hoop that I've made, which I'll be able to be seen in relief. So the idea is my body will look quite small compared to the size of the props. So give an idea of a little tiny embryo pod person. For the second trimester, I'm intending to use bungees to give a feeling of freedom, like this moving, swimming through the inner salty sea. This baby starts to realise its physical capabilities. And for the third trimester, I'm working with the idea of being very contained, not being able to move very much. The movement's going to be quite small, so I could be using the silks in a silk's cocoon. And I also have a bag that I'd like to show you, which will also give the feeling of being very contained. And then for the birth section, we have an aerial tube, which I'm going to abseil down, upside down. So you'll be seeing my body pressing and pushing against this red cloth tube, which hopefully will give a good impression of the passage through the birth canal.
Bitter and sweet when I get out there. Somebody throw me a rope here. I got hands, I got feet, I got fingers and a heartbeat. I got eyes, I got toes, I got elbows and a nose. I got a pancreas, a liver and a brain to use. Mustn't confuse them, so I'm gonna be born today. I got no choice, they're sucking me out. And I recognize that voice, and I'm gonna come and play and see what all that fuss is about when I get out there. Can't wait to get out there. I'm breaking out, so get